join us in Portimao as we prepare for what will undoubtedly be a magnificent day of racing. It's time, of course, for the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Portimao features 15 turns over the course of its 2.9-mile length. 9 are right-handers, 6 are to the left. And this is a track with a lot of uphill action, which only accentuates the importance of getting those exits right, especially at turn 4, where a good line can present opportunities to pass on the way into turn 5. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda, Ocon, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Russell, Raikkonen, Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi, Mazepin and Max Verstappen completes the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
And thank you, Crofty, for the whole intro. As here we go from Portimao. The 5 red lights are on. It's lights out, and away we go. Perez gets away well. Hamilton gets away well. Lando Norris as well gets away well, going around the outside of Charles Leclerc, and here he comes around Valtteri Bottas. They're fighting for third place. Fernando Alonso trying to get by Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz to the defend off of Pierre Gasly as they head through turn 3 now. Perez leads, Hamilton second, Bottas takes third away from Lando Norris, he takes fourth, fifth is going to be Leclerc, sixth Alonso, seventh is Carlos Sainz, the 2 Aston Martins go wheel to wheel with George Russell being behind them. As you can see now behind the 2 Alfa Romeos with Max Verstappen dives on the inside, who had to start last of this race. As he heads through the hairpin now, he's still trying to defend, and he gets in front of the Alfa Romeo. Good job there. Perez leads with Hamilton behind, then Bottas, then it's Lando Norris, then it's Charles Leclerc, then it's Fernando Alonso, then it's going to be Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. They're all heading up and down the hills, down the hill now into the fast left-hander, heading up into the hairpin. And once again, as you can see, Fernando Alonso returning defense of Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon's there, Daniel Ricciardo's there, Yuki Tsunoda's there too. So Perez leads through the first lap as they head into the last corner. Perez leads, Hamilton second again. It's Bottas third, who took an immense third place. You see the gap is already forming for third place. As you see now, Perez trying to defend against Hamilton. Hamilton's getting close though, 3/10 though, and he's still not through. Max Verstappen got through Kimi Raikkonen and Nicholas Latifi in the first lap. Good job for Max Verstappen, gaining 5 positions right off the start from dead last. As he got by Schumacher, Mazepin, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, Nicholas Latifi going wheel to wheel. Not shown by camera, but they are getting through. Raikkonen jumps Nicholas Latifi. Now he's in the back of George Russell as he heads up the hill through turn 4 and up the hill. Coming down to turn 5, he's going to try to get in the inside. No, he's going to switch back, use the outside of the hairpin of turn 5. He goes around the outside lane of George Russell, and he will go off the track a little bit, but he comes back on, and he's taking the spot away through turns 6 and 7. Meanwhile, though, as you can see Daniel Ricciardo behind Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Daniel Ricciardo gets a little bit of a jump start. I don't know. He's close though to Esteban Ocon, but not close enough. As you can see there, Hamilton on the back of Sergio Perez. As they're coming down, I see there's rain on the area now. As Hamilton says there's no grip on the track because the track is now becoming wet, but already complaining of no grip as no DRS will be activated, so No driver will have DRS, but as you can see there, Daniel Ricciardo right in the back of Pierre Gasly of Esteban Ocon. Will he try a move down into turn number 1? No, he won't. But meanwhile, it seems like Verstappen did get by Lance Stroll, or Sebastian Vettel, I mean, of the Aston Martin. You see there, look at that, wet now. Track is getting wet now, so maybe a pit stop coming soon for these drivers. As you can see, Nicholas Latifi drops back once again to 18th place after Antonio Giovinazzi got by. Perez still leading the race. Hamilton still second. Bottas third. Lando Norris still fourth. Charles Leclerc fifth. Alonso sixth. 7th place is Carlos Sainz. 8th is Pierre Gasly. 9th is Esteban Ocon. And 10th is Daniel Ricciardo. That is your points right now. Yuki Tsunoda and Lance Stroll is 11th and 12th. Verstappen and Vettel 13th to 14th. So far, Perez gets off to a good start. He's going to defend from Hamilton, though. That's going to be the issue here. Hamilton's really good when it comes to the wet races, and plus, using that downforce that Mercedes has with the DRS, this might be a difficult time for the Red Bull driver, as the track is now really wet. And I think we might see a switch over here to intermediate tires. And here comes Lewis Hamilton into the pits now. Hamilton heads into the pit lane, and he'll be changing out to the intermediate tire, it looks like. Oh, very slow pit stop for the Mercedes team. Very, very slow. That's not really good for the Mercedes team, as you see Charles Leclerc getting held up by everyone. And even the Aston Martins double stacking, the Ferraris double stack, McLaren's double stacks as well, but they made it out clean with Daniel Ricciardo jumping Lance Stroll. It's a good pit stop there for the McLaren team as Daniel Ricciardo gets ahead. The jump behind Pierre Gasly, but that is perfectly fine for the Mercedes team, for the McLaren team, not the Mercedes team. As you can see though, Perez still leading now. Valtteri Bottas now second, Esteban Ocon now third, Verstappen now fourth, and Giovinazzi now fifth. Those 5 drivers have not pit yet, but everybody else behind has. Other than, I think, Pierre Gasly, can see Perez now complaining why they didn't box before, but they say that Hamilton would have caught them. Would have caught him in pit road. So, kind of makes sense, because drivers could get held up in the pits and maybe lose their position. So, let's see what happens when Perez pits. And they're saying that Verstappen, the Red Bull is going to keep Verstappen out on track. Very odd choice for the Red Bull team. Yep, as Verstappen, here comes Esteban Ocon coming by now. And Verstappen does stay out of the track, so he will go another lap on the intermediate tires. Hamilton getting held up by Antonio Giovinazzi, who's still on the soft tire. Now down the main straight. Where will Perez come out? Where's Hamilton? There you can see Hamilton in the back there. Here comes Sergio Perez coming out of the pits. Here comes Lewis Hamilton down the hill. Perez stays ahead of Hamilton, but Bottas gets behind Hamilton. But here comes Lando Norris, however. He's in the back of Valtteri Bottas. But no action will be occurring on this lap after pit stops made, but Verstappen's still out of the lead by 9 seconds, but he's on soft tires. Again, I don't understand what Red Bull was thinking here. They said Verstappen could have come in lap 3, but they said it was way too late for him to even come into the pits because he was not realizing that they were going to pit. So that's a mistake by Red Bull for not pitting Verstappen. Oh my god, you see him losing the rear end off of that corner because of how wet the track is compared to his soft, slick tires. He is just losing all that grip. He's sliding everywhere. And that's why, folks, you should always have, my god, look at him losing the rear end. He's always going to catch that rear end every time he takes a very slow corner. As you can see through the hairpin. Now you see Sergio Perez also with him, as now he's right on the back of him, and there's Mick Schumacher all the way back in dead last. Perez now trying to see here. Let's see what Red Bull does here. So Verstappen letting Perez by. This is strategic here. He's going to hold up Lewis Hamilton for a bit here through the last corner. So he holds him out for a little bit. Now he's in the second behind, but here comes Now here comes Bottas on Hamilton, almost making an overtake, but now he's going to try it. Here he goes. Valtteri Bottas down the inside of Hamilton through turn number 1. Hamilton defends on the outside, and he defends perfectly. And Hamilton holds on to second place. Verstappen is coming in the pits now. He loses 10th, he loses 11th, loses 12th. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda for 13th. George Russell down to 14th now. Russell comes by, he takes 14th. Here comes Sebastian Vettel, he jumps to 15th. Here comes Kimi Räikkönen, and he loses down to 16th. So Verstappen comes out from 1st to 16th. So kind of a mishap here from the Red Bull team. But it could have been strategic. With fresher tires, probably. Because now Hamilton has older tires than both Perez and Verstappen. Just by 1 lap, though. But that 1 lap can do something. So let's see what Hamilton does. He's 1.2 seconds now behind Perez. Perez knows how to manage tires really, really well, judged by the actual Spanish Grand Prix of real life, where he went on probably 20, 30, I think 30 or 40 laps on soft tires, which were supposed to expire probably 20 laps in. So this is going to be quite interesting here with the strategic strategy here on the wide tires. You can see Verstappen trying to get by. Look at him losing the rear end again against Kimi Räikkönen. Where is he going to go? Down into the hairpin, but he will not try a move. Maybe. And he seems pretty confident here in the wet. He's going to try around the outside of the long right-hander. Oh, he's going to... Yes, he does. He does get by. What a move by Max Verstappen. A little bit switcheroo in the middle of the corner. And he gets by for 15th place. So, good move by Max Verstappen to move up to 15th place, but he's still a long way to go before getting in the points. Meanwhile, though, Perez still leading Hamilton from Bottas to Norris, Charles Leclerc too. So this is such an interesting battle here, as Hamilton tries to... Hamilton is catching Perez, just not getting close. That's the main issue here with Hamilton, is that he's just not getting close. Most of the time, I would see Hamilton get past really quickly. And it looks like Fernando Alonso is out of the race! Alonso out of the race! Oh dear! What happened to Fernando Alonso? As you see Verstappen... As we see Max Verstappen still on 14th. He runs a little bit wide as he's trying to catch up to Sebastian Vettel, but I think we gotta see what happened now to Fernando Alonso, because he's out of the race. As we look up on the weather here, so we're not going to show him yet, it seems like. As you see, so it's supposed to be raining until lap 12 before we get going. So here's an actual replay now of what happened to Fernando Alonso. Here we go. As we're going to show it in a little bit here. Just know that the track will be getting dry soon at lap 12. So a little bit wide there. He's already gotten a exceeded track limit warning on the last lap. And unheading up the hill. Here's a replay though of Fernando Alonso. As you can see here on lap 7, he gets up the gear here, and his engine just shuts off. Nothing he could have done. His engine just quits on him. So Alonso, no points today. He was running 5th place though. He had a great race going for him, but his luck ran out. And so he is out of this race. Going back now, Perez still leading Hamilton from Valtteri Bottas. As you can see, the rain is still coming down, but we're saying it might be stopping in maybe about 3 laps here. So we're going to be heading up to a dry track. So Hamilton's caught up though by at least 2/10 since the last time we checked checked it. He was 9/10 behind, but now he's only 8/10 or 7/10. Now he's losing ground up the hill. That's probably Hamilton's weakest spot, is maybe that hill. It's down the hill now. Hamilton's still losing ground, or now a little bit gaining. You see Verstappen down the back of Yuki Tsunoda for 12th place. So we have one person gone. That's Fernando Alonso. Oh, Verstappen trying to make a move around the outside of Yuki Tsunoda through the tight hairpin that is up the hill. Down the hill through the sweeping left-hander. Will be trying to move down the inside. Goes Max Verstappen. He tries to make a move on Yuki Tsunoda, but does not stick. And he's going to try to go around the outside now, or maybe trying to do a move through the right-hander. Can't get to the back of Yuki Tsunoda, but he will try around the outside of the last corner, and he gets by Yuki Tsunoda for 11th place. What a move by Max Verstappen, and he moves up to 11th place. As see Perez still leading the race against Hamilton, but it seems like now the rain has stopped, so the track is drying now. As Hamilton, you're right now not the points leader. He's second in points. Perez still fourth in points, but he is getting those value points that Red Bull needs. As you see now, Verstappen on the back of Carlos Sainz. Where is he going to go? He's going to not even try a move on this corner. Probably a little bit too risky for even him, and I don't blame him, because there's no room you can go there, because you need that run out of the corner, and with Verstappen's line he was going to take there's no way you can have that run out unless you're Carlos Sainz. So strategic move by Verstappen, not making a move there. What about up the hill? As he just goes to the sweeping left-hander up the hill. No, just not close enough to catch Carlos Sainz. So he stays behind in 11th place. As he runs wide a little bit more. Heading back to the front though, as you can see now, Perez still your leader. As Verstappen tries to make a move. He is right on the edge there of Carlos Sainz. Now he's going to try down the inside through the last corner, and he will get by for 10th place. He is up in the points though, and here he comes now on Lance Stroll out of the last corner, and Verstappen moves up to 9th place. They're will to will though, and Lance Stroll drops back to 10th as Verstappen takes 9th. What a move by Max Verstappen, as I think DRS is now available for the drivers, but I do not know because there's no graphics saying that. And oh, there's the graphic for the DRS. Had no idea that there was. A little bit of pause there for the cameras not doing their job properly. As you see, Perez still leading by over a second on Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas in 3rd place. Lando Norris in 4th. Charles Leclerc 5th. 6th, Pierre Gasly. 7th, Daniel Ricciardo. 8th is Esteban Ocon. 9th is Max Verstappen, who's right now on the back of him as well. So he's only 6/10 behind Esteban Ocon, who is just a sitting duck at this point now for Alpine, as their last driver who's in the points. As yes, this is the crossover point now for the dry tires. As you can see, Hamilton and Perez enter the pits. Valtteri Bottas stays on intermediate tires. So here we go into the pits now. Perez switches on to a set of soft tires. Slow pit stop for the Red Bull boys, but not enough to stay behind, as Hamilton gets held up by the Ferrari. So Hamilton loses ground on him. At least 2 seconds on Sergio Perez. Well, let's see the gap now. As you can see, Verstappen coming out ahead of his teammate on intermediate tires. So maybe another strategic strategy, maybe? So this might be an interesting strategy here by the drivers. And I see Perez has led every single lap so far, but this might be the first lap he's not leading because of Bottas being on the intermediate tire still. Oh, Verstappen's pushing hard, though, on the intermediate tires. He's already gained a second on Bottas. He is trying to gain on Bottas. He's run wide again. To the same corner probably 4 times. He's pushing that Red Bull as hard as he can. But down the hill, though, Verstappen making a strategic move, letting his teammate by. Again, just the smart move by the Red Bull drivers. Just letting each other through, not giving a single chance to these Mercedes drivers. You see Valtteri Bottas entering the last corner now, probably heading into the pits. And yes, he does enter the pits. So Bottas down pit road, he leads the lap. So Bottas has only led 1 lap, as Perez has led every single lap so far. So he's led 11 laps. As you can see, Max Verstappen holding up Hamilton once again. He dives into the pits though. So again, it's just another strategic move by the Red Bulls. As you see, Hamilton comes out ahead of his teammate again. Now Verstappen pits for soft tires. This could be very interesting between Hamilton and Verstappen. As you see, Lando Norris jumps to 3rd. Charles Leclerc jumps to 4th. Oh my goodness, this is terrible for Bottas as he loses out places. And Verstappen gained a place. He jumped Esteban Ocon. And Carlos Sainz jumps Lance Stroll. So Carlos Sainz gets through. And now he's up to 10th place in the Ferrari. Gasly having a good race so far, as well as Daniel Ricciardo, who's back in 7th place. But from his performances from last week remember, he took a podium back in Canada, which was not viewed by anyone. I'm still apologizing for that. But he took 3rd place, I believe, or 2nd place, I don't remember. But he took one of those 2 places for the McLaren. Just know that Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo took a podium in that race. So that's why they're right now 3rd in the standings, ahead of Ferrari and ahead of Aston Martin, which Aston Martin does not look good this race. Both drivers are out of the points, so this might be something here. I think they've downgraded. As you see, Verstappen on the back of Esteban Ocon. He's trying to make a move on Esteban Ocon, but he will have the DRS on Esteban Ocon. He tries around the outside of the last corner, does not work, but he's going to have the DRS and the straight line speed of that Red Bull down towards turn number 1, and he will get ahead of Esteban Ocon. So he jumps to 8th place now. As you can see, Bottas on the back of Charles Leclerc. Perez still getting chased by Hamilton now. The less than 2 seconds now between Hamilton and Perez. So this is going to be really, really intense for the next few laps, as strategy-wise, Bottas is in the worst position he could possibly be in behind Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. Verstappen 7 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo, so this could be something here. Verstappen can catch up to Valtteri Bottas, but he's only like 17 seconds, I believe, or 18 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas, so he's maybe a pit stop behind Bottas. See Bottas coming into the last corner against Charles Leclerc. He's close to Charles Leclerc. He's very, very close. He's going to have the DRS. Charles Leclerc also has DRS. Down the main straight they go. Can Bottas try to make a move on Charles Leclerc? No, he's just not close enough through the first corner, and he will hold on to 4th place. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen still trying to put a fast lap in. He takes the fastest lap of the race because he gained 3 seconds on Daniel Ricciardo, so he gains the fastest lap. He takes another championship point away from Lewis Hamilton, who had it. Valtteri Bottas tried to have it too, but he got denied completely by running off the track and exceeding track limits. So now Lando Norris in the podium position too. As you can see now, Verstappen has gained up another second on Daniel Ricciardo. So this could be something here. Verstappen is catching up towards Valtteri Bottas. He's only now 15 seconds behind, 16, 15, I don't even know, 15 to 16 seconds now. You see Perez is now leading again by 1.82 seconds now. Look at that. Verstappen is catching up by 8/10 on this lap. Is now 9/10 on this lap on Daniel Ricciardo. He's now 4.2 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo. Pierre Gasly ahead of Daniel Ricciardo too. He's holding him up basically, but can he use the DRS to get by him? Bottas though in 5th place behind Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris down the main straight through the final corner. And now through the main straight, he's close to Charles Leclerc though. He's actually very closer than he was the last lap. Here comes Valtteri Bottas on Charles Leclerc down the inside. Can he stick the move? He will go wheel to wheel, but he's not enough. Oh yes he is. Through turn 2, now into turn 3. Charles Leclerc trying to defend, but he cannot. Valtteri Bottas takes 4th away from Charles Leclerc. What a move by Valtteri Bottas. Lando Norris now only a second ahead of Valtteri Bottas. So it seems like Lando Norris is a sitting duck compared to Valtteri Bottas, but Charles Leclerc can come back on him, but he's not enough. You see Verstappen now gain another fastest lap, as he now is half the distance he was the previous lap on Daniel Ricciardo. You see now Sebastian Vettel and George Russell almost going wheel to wheel through the first corner and into turn number 2 now. As they head through the corner into turn number 3, not enough to pass him. Lando Norris though in 3rd place on the podium, so really good for the McLaren driver. Also the other McLaren driver, Daniel Ricciardo, on the back of Pierre Gasly. He's going to probably have a move up the hill, maybe through the final corner, as you can see now into the heavy turn that is the hairpin on top of the hill, and through the sweeping left-hander. Valtteri Bottas behind Lando Norris. He's only 5/10 now. Perez still leading by 1.5 seconds now. He's losing time on Hamilton. Here goes down the main straight. Bottas with DRS on Lando Norris. Can he get close? No, he cannot. And now Verstappen on the back of Daniel Ricciardo as we go back now. As you can see now, Daniel Ricciardo on the back of Pierre Gasly, but Verstappen's there too. So this might be an interesting battle between the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And see Bottas trying to get close to Lando Norris, just not close enough. And Perez still leading by 1.5 seconds, but again, he's losing time. Here comes Max Verstappen on the outside of Daniel Ricciardo through the hairpin. Verstappen tries to go around the outside. He runs wide again, but he doesn't take the exact line, but he takes away 7th place from Daniel Ricciardo. Now he's chasing his former teammate, Pierre Gasly, who was his teammate in 2019, early 2019 that was, and before Pierre Gasly got replaced by Alexander Albon, who got replaced there in 2020. See onboard camera of Lewis Hamilton, now Lando Norris onboard camera just ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen trying to make a move on Pierre Gasly through the left-hand corner. He's going to dive down the inside of Pierre Gasly through the corner, and he takes 6th place away from Pierre Gasly. What a move by the Dutch driver. That is Max Verstappen, your points leader. Hamilton still chasing Perez, but he's actually gaining a little bit of time on Perez. And now Daniel Bottas trying to come to the corner now, but it won't be enough to pass him. Now down the main straight though, Verstappen heading up ahead of Pierre Gasly. Sainz, here comes Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon. Sainz really close to 4/10 behind. Down the main straight, Carlos Sainz with DRS trying to pass Esteban Ocon. Here he goes down to the main corner. Can he catch him? No, he will just have to back off into the first corner. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda against Lance Stroll. Kimi Raikkonen against Antonio Giovinazzi. Raikkonen really close to 5/10 behind. Can he get behind him using ERS and DRS? Down the main straight they go. And you see Sebastian Vettel almost getting by George Russell, but not close enough. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen on his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, but nothing will be happening there as just not close enough. Mick Schumacher, by the way, 5 seconds behind his teammate. Nicholas Latifi 15 seconds behind Kimi Raikkonen, his nearest championship rival. Well, that's not his nearest championship rival. Antonio Giovinazzi is his nearest championship rival. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas really close up now to Lando Norris, 4/10. Here comes Bottas through the last corner, 4/10 now, 5/10 behind Lando Norris. Can he try a move? Can he get close enough to Lando Norris? Down the main straight, 3/10, 2/10. Can he catch him? No, he cannot. He's just not close enough to catch him. Through the corner, though, look at Hamilton now in the DRS range. Now up Sergio Perez. So this could be concerning for Perez now. Hamilton just caught up to him in the DRS range. So now Hamilton, all he has to do is just stay behind Perez and gain that DRS. As you can see, Mick Schumacher becoming the first lap car as he's already getting blue flagged by Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton. So this could be this is so incredible. Such a great race so far. Verstappen's up to 6th, Charles Leclerc in 7th, Hamilton. Oh, Verstappen runs wide again. He's going to have another warning for running off the track. Perez through the left-hander, but also with Hamilton behind. I see George Russell fighting Sebastian Vettel. They're wheel-to-wheel through turn 3, and Vettel gets ahead of George Russell for 14th place. What a move by the German driver on the British driver. Great move from the 4-time world champion. Then it's Sebastian Vettel. See them entering the hairpin. Vettel ahead of George Russell. So great move. And now Hamilton with DRS. 15 to go down this race. Hamilton with DRS. Can he get close to Perez? No, he cannot. He's just not close enough. Here comes Bottas though on Lando Norris. Easy close enough to catch Lando. Now down the main straight into the first corner. No, he's just not close enough. Up the hill they go though. As you see now, Charles Leclerc trying to catch down Lando Norris, still trying to defend. Here comes Hamilton down on Sergio Perez. No, he's just not close enough to pass him through the hairpin. But what about Valtteri Bottas on Lando Norris? Can he try and pass him? He's now 3/10. He's closing the gap. It's just not enough. But he is closing the gap though, as you can see now. 3/10 now, 3 seconds. 3/10. Is it close enough? No, it's not. He stays behind. But he is catching though. Hamilton right on the rear of Sergio Perez. Through the corners, now through the left-hander into the hairpin. Now Nikita Mazepin in the way of the drivers, now getting blue flagged. Now through the left-hander, down the hill. Can Perez claim the DRS away from Nikita Mazepin? So this might help him here. But Hamilton is closer than he was last lap. Can Perez get the DRS off of Nikita Mazepin? Yes, he will. So this might be an advantage for Perez as they head down the main straight. Hamilton needs to move out of the way. He does have to move out of the way from Nikita Mazepin. But Mazepin gets out of the way now, but not close enough for Hamilton to pass him through turn number 1 and 2. Meanwhile, though, Tony Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen is still fighting against Valtteri Bottas. Still trying to just find a way past Lando Norris. And now Norris has Mick Schumacher ahead of him. So this might be concerning here. Lando Norris without DRS. Here comes Valtteri Bottas with DRS, but not close enough to pass him. Charles Leclerc gets blocked by, I think that's Mick Schumacher. So not close enough, but Hamilton's still 5/10 now behind Sergio Perez. So Perez pushing his tires now. I believe he's going to make a pit stop soon, but remember this, Hamilton and Perez are both in the exact same amount of tire wear. Maybe Perez pushed a little bit harder on his tire. You see Max Verstappen now 5 seconds now behind Charles Leclerc. He is catching so fast on Valtteri Bottas. This is probably way concerning for Bottas. So he needs to get going. Carlos Sainz still in the back of Esteban Ocon, still not getting by. Here comes Hamilton down the main street though on Sergio Perez. Can he force an overtake down to the turn number 1? No, it's just not close enough. All these times Hamilton's been close, he's just not closing the gap enough to pass him. Meanwhile, Bottas, again, same mistake by Hamilton. He's just not close enough to close the gap. Charles Leclerc now 5th place, now almost 2 seconds behind them. You see now Daniel Ricciardo now on Pierre Gasly. Is he close enough? No, it's just not close enough. These guys have to be like 3 or 2 tenths behind just to get overtake. Hamilton now 5 tenths behind Perez through the right-handers. To the pair of right-handers up the hill and over the hill and through the sweeping left-hander. Now up the hill. As Perez just trying so hard to catch, or just holding off Hamilton as far as he can. He's done a great job this entire race, holding up Hamilton, just keeping him behind and not letting a single move on Hamilton get by him. So great job by Sergio Perez so far, but is it too little too late for Perez to defend Hamilton? No, they're going to both dive into the pits, and they're going to make a pit stop though, with now only 11 laps to go. So they come by, they're both now pitting, but it matters now. This is the final pit stop for both the drivers. This is important here. As Bottas enters the lead, Perez is now coming out. Hamilton comes out behind. So now, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc comes in. Valtteri Bottas is now leading the race. Verstappen behind. This is the most important gap right here between Bottas and Verstappen. Now look at the gap close. Verstappen catching Bottas. 3.2 seconds. It was 3.4 at the beginning of the lap. Let's see how far they go. Lewis Hamilton gets jumped by Daniel Ricciardo. He's getting held up now for his teammate Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz jumps Pierre Gasly in the pits. As I think Sainz just did not pit yet. But now, this is important though. 2.9 the gap. Verstappen has gained 6/10 now on Valtteri Bottas. He's getting now a full second now on Valtteri Bottas. 2.7 now. He's gained 7/10 on Valtteri Bottas. Oh, that gap is dropping now. But here we go. Through the left-hander. Verstappen still gaining on Valtteri Bottas. He's now only 2.4 seconds behind Bottas. This is incredible. Where did this pace come from for Max Verstappen starting last place? Didn't even get to qualify because of the penalty from Austria. But so far, he has shown he has the pace as he enters the pit lane. Right behind Valtteri Bottas. So now, I think Hamilton's now 2 seconds behind his teammate. See, Bottas exits the pit lane. Verstappen exits his pit stop. Both drivers are still together. Hamilton comes out second. Valtteri Bottas third. Max Verstappen is fourth. But now, what will happen in the closing laps of this race? 10 laps to go. Bottas has led only 2 laps. So Perez has led every lap but 2. That is so incredible for Sergio Perez, as this has been his race so far. But Max Verstappen now. And by the way, Lando Norris jumped Valtteri Bottas and once again is now 6/10 ahead. Carlos Sainz coming in the pit lane, down the hill. There is Esteban Ocon. They're going to wheel to wheel. Oh my goodness, almost made contact through the first corner, but Esteban Ocon gets ahead of Carlos Sainz. So Ocon just ahead of Sainz. Man, that was really close. And almost contact made. Hamilton still behind Perez. Because all this time, Hamilton has been so behind Sergio Perez, not getting a single chance to overtake. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen has now entered the DRS range of Valtteri Bottas. He is now on the back. He is now the hunter. He is now the predator. And Bottas is the prey. Down the main straight. Can Verstappen catch Bottas? Down the main straight with DRS. Can Verstappen? He's right on the rear of Valtteri Bottas. Now he's looking for a move. No, he will not make the move happen. But can he do it through turn 3 and 4? Meanwhile, Hamilton's now 1.6 seconds behind Perez. He's still trying to close the gap, and he's still trying to get by Perez. Meanwhile, Verstappen, though, here comes Max Verstappen with DRS. Where is he going to go? He's going to die the inside of Valtteri Bottas, and he gets by the wheel-to-wheel, and Verstappen takes P4! What a move by Max Verstappen from dead last to P4, and he's passed one of his championship rivals in the constructors' standings. Now, he needs on the hunt to get Lewis Hamilton. But first, he needs to pass Lando Norris, who's been defending this entire time. Bottas trying to find a way past Verstappen once again. Lando Norris now a sitting duck compared to Verstappen. Perez still leading with 1.5 seconds to go, with 1.5 seconds ahead of Hamilton as they enter lap 26. This is incredible racing. As you see now, Verstappen out of the last corner, now through the main straight. Up the hill they go. Verstappen with DRS and Lando Norris. He's going to look right. He's going to go left. Oh, onto the grass though. And on the grass again. They almost made contact. But Verstappen around the outside. And he takes third place when he runs wide. But he will take third. It's a legal move, the FIA says. So Verstappen holds on to third and will take the podium spot. But now he's only 8 seconds behind Hamilton. But he has enough time to catch him. He's got 8 laps to go. in this race. So maybe there's a chance. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz really close to Esteban Ocon, but is he close enough? No, he is not. He's just stuck behind that driver the entire race. And I feel really bad for him because he's been trying this entire race to get by the French driver Esteban Ocon. Verstappen probably been hot laps the entire way from here. As you can see now, the overtaking difficulty is really high for Verstappen, but he says in 6 laps he'll strike him. So they say lap 32 is when Verstappen will catch Hamilton. That's what they're saying. Let's look at an onboard camera of Verstappen this entire lap. So let's watch now as Verstappen does his masterclass lap here. As you can see, down the hill into turn number 1, brake hard. Brake a little bit, now into turn 2, take it flat out, brake hard for turn 3, as you can see the hairpin, as you can see George Russell, or Nicholas Latifi, up the hill through turn 4, now out of the corner, down the main straight, he's got DRS from Nicholas Latifi, down the hill into turn 5, into the hairpin, needs to take a wide, nice and wide turn, get that corner exit, up the hill, going to turn 6, the flat out turn 6, brake a little bit for turn 7 and 8, and then brake hard for turn 8, going up the hill now, over the hill now, down the hill, into the sweeping turn 9, up the hill for turn 10, brake hard for turn 11, now down the hill in the sweeping left-hander turn 12, now up the hill for turn 13, brake hard, going a wide angle, it looks like Verstappen's doing, turn 14 now, just brake a little bit, now take a wide line again, get that corner exit, now entering turn 16, the final corner, just take it nice and flat, just like Parabolica almost, in Italy, back in Monza, and that was a beautiful lap by Max Verstappen. Hamilton still behind, as you see Verstappen gained 1.4 seconds in that lap on Lewis Hamilton. He is gaining fast on Lewis Hamilton. So we could see a clash of the 2 championship leaders right now, the first and second championship lead. So Perez still leading by over 8 tenths on Lewis Hamilton, with only, now it looks like 6 laps to go. So this could be an interesting close to this race here in Portugal. Perez up the hill, through the left, through the right, and now down the hill through the left turn that is very, very flat, into the hairpin, into the left turn hairpin, up the hill, and to the blind right hand corner. Taking that corner blind, so you have no idea, into the blind, and also into the blind right turn. That's the final corner, down the hill, and then up the hill once more. Complete lap 28 now. On to lap 29. Hamilton on the back of him now, 7 tenths. So he will gain a little bit now. 5 laps to go in this race. Verstappen catching now 4.5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So this is, Hamilton is trying to pass him this entire race, and he's just not close enough. Paris has done such a well job of defending Lewis Hamilton. Like I said, it's very difficult to overtake the circuit, but if you do, it's so impressive when you do. That's why the wet races are fun here, because it provides a little bit of an overtaking challenge here. As you can see now, up the hill and through the hairpin, and down the hill they go. Hamilton's now 4 tenths behind. Verstappen now 3.6 as he's gained 6 tenths this lap. As you can see, there is Verstappen coming into view. That's how close he's gotten. He's now in view of Lewis Hamilton, of his mirrors actually. As Perez comes through, we now only have 4 laps to go in this race. Hamilton's gotten closer actually. Down the main straight they go. Hamilton's really close to Perez. Where's he gonna go? He's gonna just stay behind. He's just not close enough. Meanwhile, Verstappen is now caught up another second. 3.2 now. The gap between Hamilton and Verstappen. 3 seconds now. 2 seconds. He's closing the gap. 2.6 seconds now. He's gaining closer and closer to Hamilton. 30 out of 33 laps have been almost completed. 29 to be exact to be completed. Perez trying to lead this race. Verstappen has gained another warning. Almost a penalty. Almost in that same corner. He's run there 4 times. So once more I think a penalty will be ensued on Verstappen. But he's just pushing that Red Bull as hard as he can. 2.2 seconds out of the gap between Hamilton and Verstappen. He's gained so much on Lewis Hamilton since probably lap 25. Since he passed Bottas, who was 8 seconds behind. Now, he's only 1.5 seconds behind Hamilton. Hamilton, meanwhile, is only 4 tenths behind Perez. Down the main straight. 3 laps to go now in this race. Hamilton trying to close the gap on Perez. 2.2, but he's not. Just 0.2 seconds now. 0.3 now. Just not close enough. He's just. It seems like that Mercedes is just not fast enough. That's what it seems like. He's been complaining about the tires his entire time. But now Verstappen on the back of Hamilton. As they head through the corners now, 3 laps to go. 1.4 seconds to go between Hamilton and Verstappen, but 3 tenths between Vettel, fucking Perez and Hamilton. Sorry, excuse my language. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This is just such an intense race, and now an intense end to the race. Perez trying to close the race end of this beautiful, beautiful circuit as he heads through the corners, through the sweeping left-hander, coming up to 2 laps to go here in Portugal. Verstappen has a good exit out of the second to last corner in the penultimate corner. Now, out of the last corner, down the main straight. Can Verstappen make a move on Lewis Hamilton? Down the main straight. Here goes Verstappen down the inside of Hamilton. Is he trying to move? No, he's just not close enough. But can he make a move down into turn 3? Will he try to move? No. Maybe down into turn number 5. Up the hill through turn 4. Perez getting blockers now, and this gets blue flags. I think that's Kimi Räikkönen it's Giovinazzi who's being blue flagged. Now, Verstappen around the outside of Hamilton. They're wheel to wheel through the hairpin. Now up through turn 6. They're wheel to wheel. Around the outside of Hamilton goes turn 7. And turn 8, Hamilton's still stuck on the outside. He's trying to get by Verstappen. Through turn 10 they go. Hamilton gets ahead of Verstappen. So the race is off there. Can Verstappen come back on turn 11? No, he cannot. What about turn 12 though? How about the switchback maneuver through turn 12 into turn 13? Through the left-hander. Can Hamilton try something? No. So we're going to enter the final lap here, with Hamilton being second. Perez still your leader. And now there's just lap cars in the way. Räikkönen getting held up. Hamilton gets held up by Räikkönen. They're wheel to wheel through the main corner into the last corner. Now, and the final lap has started. Perez, your leader. Hamilton is now 3rd place. Verstappen takes 2nd. Oh, Verstappen runs wide. Here comes Lewis Hamilton, and he tries to make it down the inside. No, he cannot. Maybe down the main straight, Verstappen's gonna have no DRS. He's too far away from his teammate to even get DRS. But here comes Lewis Hamilton though, with the DRS down the backstretch. Can he force an overtake on Verstappen? No, he cannot. Oh wait, he might. Oh, Verstappen. Oh, okay, he gets a good exit. Verstappen trying to hold off Hamilton through turns 6 and 7. And 8. Perez, still your leader. Verstappen is 2nd. Here comes Hamilton through the hairpin. The uphill hairpin. down the hill into the sweeping left-hander. Hamilton's going to have it down the inside of the sweeping left-hander, but he won't try a move. But he will try a move down the inside of the hairpin. Verstappen has to give way. Now through the sweeping left-hander. Perez, he won it. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez, he won in Austria after such a weird race, but he will come up the hill and he will win the Portuguese Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Verstappen, he does take second. Sergio Perez wins here in Portimao. What a race for him. Bottas comes out fourth. Here comes Lando Norris for P5. What a race for Lando Norris this was. Charles Leclerc comes home sixth. What a victory that was.
Celebrations tonight. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.